neon lights, we take a stand. Knights and wizards across the land.
Runequest, Runequest, questing for runes, role-playing in Glorinthia. I thought this was the game with the ducks, but it's not. Isn't this the one that had the ducks? I thought ducks were the original player character race in this game, but nope, it seems to be just human. Anyway, we're looking at Runequest. Runequest was one of the 57 games I got from the Humble Bumble, link down below. It's still going on if you want to get 57 different assorted role-playing games for $40, ranging from this 500-page monster to obscure indie titles to a lot of stuff. It's just a hodgepodge. It's amazing. $40 for 57 games. Sure, I'll probably never use any of them, but I couldn't say no, right? So Runequest from Chaosium, featuring the chaosium system, considered by many to be one of, if not the best role-playing game. If you're looking for the best role-playing game on the market, many people consider this system to be one of them. If it's so good, how come you haven't done superheroes yet? Because they already did a superhero game for this system. It's called Super World. So that's why I haven't done one using this system yet. Plus, I don't know if this system is open source. I'll have to ask. Maybe it's time to bring Super World back. I don't know anybody who works for Chaosium, do I? Doesn't anyways, yeah, Runequest. So let's take a look at Runequest. So this is like 500 pages, and it's a lot. I looked through it this morning. I don't think I can do this justice in 20 minutes, but we'll try. Yeah, it's huge. This is huge. Look at this. Just and like a huge chunk of it is just getting into the whatever this is, the Vossen. I guess the Vossen are the core race. That sounds familiar. Somebody whose core race starts with the letter V. I know there's another game I recently saw whose core race starts with the letter V. All right, so here we go. Runequest, Chaosium, original edition 1978. This is the 4th edition, 2018. If they've made another one after that, I'm not aware of it. Written by our good friends Jeff Richard, Greg Strafford, Jason Durrell, Steve Perrin. There's a name I recognize. David Dunham, Steve Henderson, blah, 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 blah. Sandy Peterson. There's a name. I knew somebody. Sandy Peterson. I should ask him. He's on Twitter and we're friends. I mean, not like friends, like Twitter friends. So yeah, look at this. 432 pages plus art. So we've got the introduction, the world, adventures, pre-generated adventures, homelands, game system. So 137 pages before we actually get into the game system of how to make a character. And then the character building section goes from 137 to 403. Basically, wow, because you got all the magic system and the runes and combat and skills. I mean, this is just chunky McChunk. Possibly more chunk than you need. Especially since the core system, basic role playing, you can get for like $50, which is still too much, but that's like 30 pages. And of course, we got some art, we got some dudes. Now, nobody can complain about there not being enough humans in this, because I'm pretty sure this is all various humans. No elves or dwarves or anything like that, just all various humans. Bronze Age world where people hold allegiance to tribe, city, and cult, not to abstract alignments. Although humanity is the dominant species, they're dominant only to the quarreling of the elder races who still rule large parts of the world. The main theme is religion and magical relations of man to God. In Glorinthia, the gods and goddesses are real, and through their followers and cults, they play an active and important part. Sun, moon, air, water, darkness, and moon have all powerful deities such as death, fertility, change, stasis, illusion, truth, disorder, and harmony are also deities. What would the goddess Stasis be like? What's up? Yeah. Just chilling. Here I am, exact same space. Doing the exact same thing I've always been doing. I don't like change, man. That's why I'm the goddess Stasis. I like everything to be exactly the same. I don't move. I just sit here. I'm doing my stasis thing. Yeah, no, I don't know. That'd be a pretty boring god to worship. I like the god who does nothing. But he's a god, or she's a god. It's a complete universe. It's self-contained. So has its own myths and world building or whatever. Obviously based on heavily inspired by human stuff, but Earth stuff, but rewritten to fit the story of the game. So yeah, it does seem to be human maximum. It's a D percentile system. It also uses some other dice, but mostly it's the percentile system that we all know and love. Remember, this is my if I could only take one system to a desert island and I had to choose between this and a D6 system, D6 system only gets the edge because I think it's easier to find a 6-sided thing on an island than it would be to find a percentile sided thing. Like I've seen 6-sided rocks, right? I've never seen a 100-sided rock. So yeah, that's the only reason why D6. Like if I had just, like if I could bring two, it'd be the West End Games D6 system and this. And between that, I could probably run 90% of everything. And if I needed a level-based system, I'd bring either SHADOWDARK or Villains of Vigilantes. This character has no feet. And is bent. That's not human. It might be humanly possible, but 1 foot. Is there another foot? Is this AI? I don't know. I think this is supposed to emulating some sort of tribal dance, but yeah. Don't know. Also, the axe in this hand is bending, and these fingers look weird. So I'm gonna say AI. Blah blah blah. So here's all the things: the runes, the magic, the cults, the kinship, passage of time, epic scale, more humans. Look at this: human, blue-skinned human, but still human. Some more humans. No non-humans. Yeah, nobody can complain about the elves and dwarves and tieflings or whatever. This is human. And various takes on humans. Runes, we got a little Conan here. Types of runes, I think the magic system is all based upon runes and interacting the runes, stasis plus fire equals type of thing. And the forms of the runes, conditions of the runes. This is the world of Gloranthia. Heaven, hell, the prime plane, all the gods. I'm drinking coffee. Technology, money, history of the world. And then we've got the Vasen. So the Vasen is one dude, a Windlord companion. And I guess the whole book is, a large chunk of the book is written from this character. So, and then we talk us through character building using Vasen as the example character. I love that. I regret that I did not do a build your own walkthrough when I was writing up the character creation system for Vigilantes and Pog Wars. The next book will have a, step-by-step how to build this character and stuff like that and what each thing means. Obviously, it's a lot easier with SHADOWDARK than this system. I mean, SHADOWDARK is basically D20, so all I really need to explain is, the stuff that's appropriate. Oh no, okay, no, we don't need this is a kid's show. All right, so here we go. Getting started, all the things you need to do, and then done through, well, we're on page 23 of the example of Vasen, right? So where first we pick our homelands. I don't know, because it's me. We're just going to copy Vasen. I'm playing Vasen. Vasen sounds like kid with spear anyway, so we've got all these different homelands, which are, vaguely analogs for historic Earth and fictional Earth. We've got like the Grays lands, we've got mountain land, we've got rich and civilized land, we've got barbarian land, we've got bison, high llama. These are all different tribes in barbarian land. We've got Luna Tarsh, ruled by the Lunar Empire, very civilized, proud and arrogant. Mongolians, maybe? We got Old Tarsh, centered around the foothills. They remain loyal to the old gods, Oldsting. So all these sound, vaguely familiar from either fiction or actual time actual stuff. So there's relations between real things. So you don't have to feel too like, I don't know what that is, because you just can go, oh, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that sounds like Mongolia. I know Mongolia. And what I don't know about Mongolia, I can look up. As opposed to Lothlorien. I don't know what that is. Blah, blah, blah. Trees big enough for entire societies to live in? Well, I mean, there's some pretty big trees in all the different things you get for picking that specific world, your history, your clans, your occupation. This is just a really chunky character building system. Everything, just blah, blah, blah. Here's all the different things that happen. And here, of course, we're telling the story still of the character and the history and the world building. Look at this. This is all just world building and history and things that happened during that time period and things that you could use to, if you wanted to run in that period. Like, let's say I want to run my game during this time period, and these are the things that were happening during this time period. Just the whole calendar laid out. This is amazing world building. This is probably why it's considered one of the best. But I mean, this is a tome. This is not 5e. This is not I can make a character in 20 minutes. This is I got to read this. I got to go through this. I got to dedicate a couple hours to truly picking my character. And if I'm going to invest that time and energy and reading all this and picking each thing, and my character dies. So we're still in bit character building, rune affinities. Here's again the example character. This is something I think isn't used enough. It's always been sparingly used in games. It's such a good idea. I really think more games, including mine, should do this, should have an example character that talks you through each aspect of the game. It's something I should have put in Vigilantes, but I didn't, which, is I've got the perfect, because I could have just had this running commentary from our mascot, Tag. I kind of do it in the Apocalypse and the Pog War, where we have the running commentary from the computer that calls everybody Carl. Hi, Carl. And in the next project that I'm working on right now, I'm definitely going to do more as I'm rewriting Supers yet again, because I'm never quite happy yet, where we're going to have the running commentary from the character talking you through the building and explaining stuff that might not be understandable. So this is brilliant, and I'm surprised more games don't use this. And then all his different runes and what they mean and how to connect them and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, if you're looking for a simple, easy to learn game that you can run in like 10 minutes, this is not it. Now, the base system, percentile, is very simple, but to really get into the guts of Runequest, this is a major undertaking, which some people might love. The fact that we're on page 51 and I'm only now finding out how to roll up a character, for me, that's a detriment. Like, I would be like, nope, that's just too much reading, which is weird because I love the base system. It's so simple, but this is this is a novel. This is something you're like, I want to really invest in this character and invest in this world and take all that time to build this character. But I also know this is a really deadly world of barbarian, and Bronze Age, and I could die. So yeah, this is a love letter. And here we have explanation of what the basic role-playing percentile system does. More talking about the Voss, and weird that I know another game where the main race is V and uses percentile system that looks really familiar to this. But it's been around forever, right? It's not a new system. I could have sworn this was the one with the ducks, but I guess not. And then each skill, each spelling, blah, just look at this. And here's all your different skills. And then the base percentile, and then you get to add. And, the percentile system for this game is really simple. You have a basic starting number, like 15%, right? And then you've got the course task, my percentile plus bonuses against whatever the difficulty is. And if I roll over the percentile, I succeed. And if I roll under the percentile, I fail. Or is it, I don't know. Anyways, but then, if they want to make it difficult, you cut it in half. So instead of having a 20% to succeed, I have a 10% to succeed. And if it's really, really difficult, you cut it in half again. So now from my 20% to succeed, now I've only got a 5% to succeed. So we're from 20 to 10 because it's kind of difficult, and from 10 to 5 because it's really difficult. And that's pretty much it from what I remember. And that's just so simple, right? Normal, cut it in half again. And just look at this. We're all just each one of these different specific aspects for the world, different specific aspects for the cultures. We saw something similar to this in Horde Wars, where he just had each individual race broken down in the stereotypical iconic members of that race you could run into, like Elvish Ranger, Goblin War Leader, stuff like that. So we do the same thing here. As opposed to what I do and what Kelsey did and what a lot of systems do, where they just make it very, very quick, very simple, and allow you to build your own. In Kelsey's world, the races are like a sentence, and but this guy, and here's the exact opposite, where we're just like, this is everything you can do. And these are all the skills, like chariot driver, entertainer, and let's look at all of this information on these classes. So here's our farmer. Look at this Warhammer battle axe. Oh, would a farmer need a Warhammer? Oh, I guess for smashing grain. Battle axe, you got the battle axe for cutting grain. The cestus, not sure why a farmer would need a cestus. Dagger, I mean, definitely. Leather carapace, yep. What a shield? Yeah. Bow. Why would a farmer need a bow? I guess he was hunting. Or did they give this to him when they told him to defend the village? Raiders are coming. Here's your Warhammer. And here we've got a noble. What the noble might be carrying. If you pick your different things. Kid with spear. Kid with spear's in here. Warrior. See, there is kid with spear. See, look, kid with spear. He's a little bit older, but yeah, look, spear, armor, helmet, shield, sword. There we go. Kid with spear. That's a little ridiculous helmet, but it's meant to intimidate. You guys know why helmets are always often built to look like what you look at them now and you go, that was ridiculous. It was a way to tell who people wore, and it was a way to intimidate your enemies. It was kind of like the symbols on the shields. You see this helmet from across the plane, and it was basically saying, all these guys wearing the helmet work for this guy because that's his helmet, right? Or I'm cool enough that I've got my own personalized helmet, and when you see that helmet, it's me, kind of thing. So yeah, it was a way to tell your allegiance and stuff like that. Kind of like the coat of arms, but you couldn't always see the coat of arms. But you see that 100 guys with that helmet, and oh, Prince Dane is here with his 100 dudes. I can tell that because that's Prince Dane's copyright helmet. More just a different, here's the religion stuff and what those gods and cults give you. More of the example character, just talking you through each step. Hey, we justify the fact that our character building section is ridiculously huge by telling you this story and showing you all the different things you can do. And notice we haven't seen anything about races. We've only just seen these, basically these cultures. So it's basically human culture, all built around time. And here we go. This example character. This is just one example character. This is, the daughter of the main character. 1, 2, 2 pages to explain the whole character. We've got all our skills and abilities and passions and all the different things to build up the character. And they get to ride along on a bison, and then they've got the hit things. Hit locations is a thing in this game, maybe a little overly complicated, but it definitely makes the combat more gritty. I hit him on the right arm. Yeah, that arm, as opposed to just I hit. Some people like that, some people don't. And it's a flavor. Do you want a very specific where do I hit body part breakdown combat system, or do you like the more generic just do I hit combat system? I don't care. Do I hit him? I rolled an extra 20. I can cut off his arm or whatever. But I don't know. That's just your mileage may vary. So we're just in the example character on page 87. We've got a couple different example characters. You'll notice all humans. No elves, no dwarves, no gnomes, no halflings, no tieflings, no elves in bikinis, just various cultures from humans. And example characters. And now we move on to the homelands. Just here we get to the world building, all the different worlds, all the different sections of the worlds, and what you can encounter that world. So that they include the entire world in the game as well. Look at this. An entire history, an entire broken down magic system, all the classes, the pre-generated classes, the world map, the game system. We get to 137 pages before we finally get into the game system. Now, for me, that's too much. I want, how do I make a character? How do I play? Then give me the fluff. But if I was looking for a game world with lots of fluff, yeah, I mean, look at this. Just so much work for such a simple system. But they really want you to feel like this is a living world. Oh, ability use. Here we go. Yeah. Abilities above 100, damage, combat, different stuff like that. Resistances for like saving throws, healing, resurrection, encumbrant. Ooh, chase rules, the thing that nobody gets right. You can't translate a chase to a D&D game, because basically the chase in a D&D game is whoever is winning at the start of the initiative is technically probably going to win the race. Because if I'm going at 15 and everybody else is going at 10 and that one guy's going at 5, and that 15 never changes, I'm pretty much 90% I'm going to win the race, unless there's rules to change my to lower my number. And we got things for different combat: darkness, disease, drowning, falling, fire, poison. Different things for weather, different things for exposure, the different skills and how they work, the breakdown of the skills based upon stat, languages, knowledge, skills, lores, magic skills, religion skills, stealth skills, perception skills, combat, how the combat works. We're now on page 191 before I finally find out how combat works. All the different things you can do in combat, different things of special damage, different types of weapons, axes, swords and daggers, punching, hammers, mace and clubs, spears, pole weapons, unarmed attacks, punch, kick, hammer attacks, missile weapons, bow, just so much work. So much amazing work. Mounted combat. There's a whole section on mounted combat. Chariots and chariot racing. A whole section on chariot racing and chariots and stuff like that. A whole section on fighting in flanks and Roman flanks and stuff like that, and shield walls. The rune system. There's the rune system. I combine my water rune and my air rune. I am Captain Planet. Dun, 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 dun. We've got what the runes do. We've got the different types of tests you have to pass, psychic, stuff like that. Passions, alignment, inspiration. That sounds familiar. Reputation, deeds, the magic system. I don't know if the magic system and the rune system are different, because I'm not really going to spend that much time. I've already gone way over the 20-minute mark. Then we're not just finished yet. Here's the different types of magic on page 247. Different. Yeah, just look at this. Oh my God, there's just so much. This is like a player's handbook and a DM's guide, and probably a monster manual in here too. I haven't seen monsters yet, but I'm sure it's in here. More of the magic system. Look at this. Where are we now? On page 333, still going through the magic system. It's alphabetical, so we're 300 page 33, and we're just in L. Then we got the shamans. Oh my God, so much stuff. This is intimidating. This really is. I'm not going to say I love it. I mean, I love the amount of work, but again, it just feels like, what happens if my character dies? I've just spent an hour making this character and I died at goblins. But just, wow. I mean, you can't say, wow, it's converting from the different versions of the game. You get the index on page 438. Look at that. I should do an index for my next game. That seems like a lot of work, and I'm lazy. Wow, just so much. Just, I don't even know where to start. Just almost too much. I don't think I can do this justice, but if you are looking for a complete investment in a world that has been laid out so meticulously, every possible question answered, and every possible permutation of the things a character might do in a scenario, combat, non-combat, stuff like that, it's all there. And it is 500 some odd pages of just lore. This is a thick thing, which is weird because the base rules for, this game, which I have right here, basic role playing, without all the fluff, is 40 pages. That's still a lot of fluff, but probably why it's not as popular as it should be. One, because it's mostly associated with Call of Cthulhu, and Call of Cthulhu is either a system you love and a game idea you love, or you're just like, why would I want to play a game where I just spend an hour making a character and I go insane? Walk down the stairs, go insane. Make a new character. Hour later, walk down the stairs, go insane. Also known for, Pendragon, their King Arthur game. Lesser known for other games, including Superworld, which is a great superhero game. I wonder whatever happened to it. I'll have to ask. I don't know if they have an open source, so I don't know if people can write stuff for this game. I don't know how popular is Runequest now. I can't remember the last time I heard it come up in a conversation unless I mentioned it in the news. So that's not a good sign. Would this be a game I normally would have bought? Never. No, I would never have bought this because I'd know I'd never play it. I've never run it, and it's just too much for me. I know there are people out there who love this, who want a 400, 500 page. I don't know if anybody wants an 800 or 1,000 page role-playing game. That's just too much. But I'm a minimalist, my brain can't do this because of my autism and my dyslexia and my various other issues. And I'm fucking old. I'm old. So yeah, I'm not the target audience, which is weird because I love the idea of their system, the basic system. But from a literary point of view, from a historical point of view, from the point of view of somebody who loves research and loves all this stuff, wow, A+. The amount of work of taking real world cultures, scrubbing off the serial numbers, converting them to Gloranthia, and then expanding upon those cultures so they better become an integral part of the story of Gloranthia. And, sure, you can still tell that's a Teutonic, warrior or whatever, or a Mongolian, if you look at it and squint. But no, it's got its own history, its own culture, its own worships, its own personality. This is a world that somebody has invested a lot of time and effort and love in. And it's something you either appreciate or you don't. But just from a system point of view, the core system is really simple, but they've just expanded on it to cover every possible thing a player might consider. And for some, that's probably a benefit. I'm sure there's hundreds of people out there who go, I love this. I love the idea. I love that it is chunky and it is a learning curve. And it is that. I'm not that person. Maybe when I was younger, I was, but no, I've never liked overly complex systems. I didn't even like Champions, which is funny because I remember playing Super World and loving it. But you know me, my brain's like, Phase Rip is the best role-playing game ever because it uses colors instead of numbers, dude. So I am not the best person to judge games, right? I think we know that. But it was part of the, the package, $40 for 57 games. When was I ever get another chance to have a copy of Runequest? Will I ever play it? Doubtful. Will I ever run it? No. Is basic role playing my go-to desert island game? It's one of the three, it's so yeah. Link to the Humble Bumble if you want to pick up the bundle and get RuneQuest. There's people who either love this game or hate this game, who either going to love the amount of work and love just the chunk or find it to just be intimidating. Just from a reading point of view, just to read through that and read the history. If that's something you're into, that might be worth it on its own. Just like, I'll never read this game, but I love the world building and I love the history. It's like reading a history novel, but taken to the boundaries of fantastic, which is just amazing. So thank you, Humble Bumble, for making this bumble available. Thank you for writing this great game, guys. Steve Perrin and all those other dudes, and Chaosium, of course. Best role-playing game in the world? Best role-playing game in the market? Definitely one of the best systems. It's so good. Other people have copied it and claimed it was their own. Either, while giving them credit or not giving them credit. But I can definitely think of one or two games that are a direct ripoff of this, even with the naming. But hey, that's just me. I do love looking at other systems. It's Tuesday, so have a great day out there. Stay safe, stay warm. Hopefully the sun will come out. It's 10 o'clock. Get yourself your second coffee or whatever. And I'll talk to you later. See ya. Get off my RuneQuest.
Monsters lurking in the night. Heroes ready for the fight. Dice are clattering on the wood. Storylines misunderstood. Kept the